Welcome to Inside Amusements, your number one podcast about yesterday, today, and tomorrow's amusements. With your hosts, Brian, Chris, and Eric. I'm Joe, the producer, and this is episode number 8, Coasterstock and CoasterMania 2022. And now, here's Chris.
Here I am, everybody. This is Chris, and we are going to kick this episode off with some news from around the world, I guess you could say. But first off, SeaWorld Orlando has confirmed that there will be a surf coaster coming in 2023. They didn't provide any details, nothing like that, but they did provide an animated video where it kind of looked like a launched stand-up coaster. How interesting is that, Brian?
Woohoo! Return of the stand-up coaster. I know a lot of people hated them, but I loved them.
I did too.
All righty. And next up, unfortunately, some bad news coming out of Montana. Looks like fires destroyed a drive-in in Laurel, Montana. Actually, one of 2 drive-ins left in that state. Looks like the fire completely destroyed the theater, or the drive-in theater itself, the whole screen. It was a double showing screen, which there really aren't many of those left out of all the drive-in theaters. But unfortunately, it was a total loss. So it looks like Montana now has 1 remaining drive-in theater.
Not good.
So
not good.
Yeah.
Well, on a little bit of lighter news, if you've paid attention to Cedar Point at all, you can tell that there is work being done on the old Wicked Twister roller coaster site. There are footers poured, foundations poured. No word from the park yet what's happening, and they are staying hush-hush on that, but you can see everything from the giant wheel. Something's coming. We just don't know what.
I say the world's largest restaurant.
Yes.
Yep. And next up, good news coming out of Kings Island. The Phantom Theater Encore show finally opens to rave reviews. We've heard from multiple people about this show. Even our own Joe actually went to see it on a preview night. And it was, he gave great reviews. And if you haven't seen it, or if you can't get to the park this year, check out our YouTube channel. We actually have a video of the whole show on there. So make sure you go check that out. But I would recommend, if you can, get to the park and check it out in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go up probably this weekend and check it out.
Coasterstock, what an awesome event. It was my first time going. So I want to know what your thoughts are on how everything started. Like what kicked off the Coasterstock season?
Well, I mean, Coasterstock season, we got our packets and everything. I think about 3 weeks before the event. This year was a white t-shirt, which is kind of rare. Usually they pick a different color with the logo on it, but looks like the big fad this year was to actually tie-dye your own Coasterstock t-shirt. It started out with, I do believe, one gentleman on the Facebook group. Then it just kind of caught on like wildfire. I do believe I probably saw about, I'd say at least 30 people there with tie-dye Coasterstock shirt, including myself.
Yep, yeah. and myself. And man, there were some really very well done tie-dyed shirts. It was a lot of fun seeing all those.
Yeah, even at the was it the first lunch where they took the group photo of all the people with the tie-dye shirts, or was that the second day?
I do believe that was the first day.
That was the first day. Yeah.
There's a lot of good shirts.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So Coasterstock was, at this point on the day of this recording, it's actually been a few weeks now. So I had to, kind of bring up some notes and try to remember based on the itinerary. But for me, as my first time, I was super excited to get up there. I had so much energy. Brian, you had been, how many, this was your 7th year?
This is I think, how many coaster stocks have there been? Is it 7?
7 or 8, right?
7 or 8. Yeah, I've been to every one.
You kind of gave us fair warning about it's a long, daunting day, right? I mean, it's
2 days. Yeah, it will wear down even the toughest person.
Mm-hmm. I think like 16 hours each day if you kind of stay, all the way up until, the late night ERTs. And, I was prepared for it. In a normal situation, that would be very difficult for me, but I was so psyched and I was among the right people, the right community, definitely at the right place. And, man, it was awesome. I'm still feeling how amazing it was.
Yeah. There's just a lot of motivation. I mean, the community is there. I love what Don's done with the event. He makes sure he reaches out to all the coaster groups and everything. So, you're not part of a coaster club there. You're part of just the whole coaster enthusiast community.
Yeah.
So you get to see a lot of different people from all over the country, even some people from out of the country.
Yeah. There were people from Canada there. I know that.
Yep.
So it was also my first time experiencing Coasterstock, and I can't think of a better event that I've been to yet. And there may never be another better event than Coasterstock 2022. When I was there, everything was perfect. I mean, even though it rained, it was still great. I had a great time. And yes,
which I did predict that, as I told you, that's
apparently
it's a rite
it's
of passage for Coasterstock.
Apparently it's not Coasterstock without rain. Yeah.
There's got to be rain one of those days.
And not to mention the epic ending of day 2 with the lightning bolt that almost struck us. So, but like I was going to say, that night between day 1 and 2, that was like a hurry up, get to sleep, try to get as much rest as you can before you have to be right back at it again the next morning. Which, it was my favorite event. I mean,
yeah, I was still a little slow that second day, but Chris, you and I made it for the ERTs.
Yeah.
And I might've been dragging a little bit, but it didn't take me long to bounce back.
No, the bat woke us up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little slow on that second day. I was a little sore.
That's right. You joined us a little later. Yeah.
I kind of remember you being not slow during the scavenger hunt when you took off running.
Oh yeah. Which if I would have paid attention to the Facebook page, and started, didn't start 30 minutes after it was announced, I would have won that.
Yeah, I think you would have, because you did find everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I found everything within I don't know, what was it? Not even 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I knew right off the bat where everything was.
Yeah, that's funny. Me and Joe took off one way, you went the other way. I was calling you like, "Hey, where's the next spot I got to go?" So,
that was definitly fun.
Yeah,
I mean, you see why I want to go every year.
Yeah.
It's an amazing event. I mean,
I'm counting down to the next one.
Bob from BK Photo Page. I mean, he goes every year. I mean, he loves the event too. I mean, everybody I know, they love the event. It's a great event.
Yeah. And I hear other people that are like, "Oh, we love Hollywood Nights. It's the best coaster enthusiast event of the year." But I'm like, I've been to one and I really prefer Coasterstock now. It was out of this world fun.
Yeah, I got to hand it to them, man. They Don Helbig and others there at Kings Island. Yeah, mm-hmm. Kyle and Chad
Christopher and Chad Showalter.
If you know, if you're listening, and you know Kings Island, you know who we're talking about, because those guys are fantastic, and they did an amazing job.
They put on a hell of an event. I mean, they knock it out of the park, pun intended. I mean, it's just one thing after another. And the size, Don does the perfect thing by capping it off, so it's not overcrowded. You get a chance to do things multiple
600
times.
tickets. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. learn about the dark side of that later on. This
600 might sound like a lot to some of you, but it really wasn't. It's I think it was just enough. The picnic area for the food, housed all of us perfectly, and for the walkbacks, the tours, it was just the right amount of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it was great. I mean, they give you so much though. I mean, it's 2 days of the event, all the ERT. I think the cost this year with the season pass, it was like $58 or something like that. $58, $59. You got free drinks, free fun picks. You have 2 separate meals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the catered meals, man. Got to hand it to Chef James. Oh, yeah. Amazing. Great food.
Yeah. Chef Major. Great. Oh, man, that food was great again this year. It's always great, but I mean, this year, it keeps getting better and better.
We had the fun picks. Fun picks was also included. So
we had fun with that.
We did.
Oh, yeah. So you probably, if you follow our socials, you've probably seen a lot of the crazy pictures we put up.
Epic fun picks for sure.
Yeah.
Especially on that second night.
Yeah, that kind of leads me into one of my notes that I have here is like the friendships that were made during Coasterstock. And I know some people listening will probably know John Keeter, which, we got to hang out with him, eat both days all day long. He did leave for a little bit during day 1 to go back and rest up for the nighttime, but it was a great time getting to know him and hang out with him and just see and learn how good of a person he is.
Yeah, one of the coolest people I've ever met, man. And I look forward to hanging out with him again soon.
Yeah, definitely.
John's a great guy and a good friend. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's always got a story too.
Yeah, that's what I love. There's so much I could learn just by sitting and listening to him.
He knows so much about Kings Island. His experiences at Kings Island is amazing. The guy definitely knows his stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Coasterstock. It was awesome. Chris, your favorite part of Coasterstock?
My favorite part of Coasterstock. So I may have 2. I have like a 1A, 1B. 1A, the friends that were made. I think all of us hanging out all day long. And then with John as well. It was just a great time. That's what made Coasterstock my favorite thing ever.
Yep.
And then 1B would be us marathoning Orion on night 1.
Yeah.
We rode it 5 or 6 times.
And
it was just all the fun picks and everything. That was just a memory that I will never lose.
Yeah, man. I would agree. I would say it would be the same for me. Those 2 things, you absolutely hit it. Orion is my number 1 at Kings Island. So hitting it with my friends at an ERT nighttime over and over and over, not standing in lines. The best for sure. Yeah. And the community and the friendships that were made during Coasterstock. So awesome.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
Yeah. Just hanging out with you guys, and other friends that were there. Also meeting new people. This was my 7th or 8th Coasterstock. I can't remember, but I still met new people and made new friends. So it's you can go every year and still meet new people. It was just a great event. And also I just love how the park interacts with the guest, with the Coasterstock guest. It's not like, hey, you bought a ticket. Okay, here's your ERT and stuff. Go have fun. No, they interact with everybody. Don and his team, they interact with all of us, even throughout the day. Constantly on, Facebook and stuff like that. And there's always a line of communication there. Something comes up, like we had some weather issues, or the race that I was supposed to be in ended up getting canceled because of weather. And Dom was right on top of that. Okay, he kept updating. We'll give it another shot here. Try it this time. It fell through. Of course, then they did the trivia contest, and I'm not going to toot my own horn, but
what did you win?
Yeah, I did win that. It was between me and John, though. That was the hilarious thing. We both answered at the same time, and I went to show him hey, did you see this question? I was like, I just submitted the answer. But yeah, we had fun with that. That was hilarious. I actually got a nice little prize on that. I got a VIP, a Son of Beast VIP pin So,
Yep.
Only very few made, right?
Yeah, I would say there's probably less than 100 of those actually ever made.
So cool. Nice piece for your collection.
Yeah, I don't have it with me right now. It's put up in a box, but yeah, it was great. I mean, it's just I plan on doing it again next year. Just hopefully right around February, first week of February. That's when tickets usually go on sale, and that's why people laugh at me when I make a big deal. Like I prep when Don announces when those tickets go on sale. I clear my schedule, even at work.
Yeah.
My schedule is cleared an hour before the ticket sales time. Make sure I'm clear. Nobody's bothering me. Computer's working. My browser cache is cleared.
Yeah.
And I go to the site right at the time. And this year it's sold out again in record time, I believe.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes. So for
10
those
minutes
of you,
this year. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Coaster Stock is limited to 600 tickets. It was January, February, right? When tickets went on sale, February, I think.
Yeah, February 9th, I think.
And it's no joke, man. You have to do it through the website, and you've got, you got to jump on it right away.
10,000 people were
That's
waiting.
right. Don did share that. 10,000 people hammered the website to try to get a ticket. And us three were able to do it, which is amazing. I wasn't so sure it was going to happen. Yeah. So
next year we have to all three get on, and if someone makes it in, and just a miracle, and two other
buy
get all the tickets. Yeah.
Well, next year it's gonna be 4. We're gonna make sure Eric goes.
Yeah.
So Eric will definitely have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be on a call. If someone gets in, okay, you do it. You buy all the tickets. We'll send you the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have your credit card ready. Be logged in. So there you have it. Coaster Stock, Kings Island's Coaster Stock 2022. All three of us were there. It's awesome. I can go on and on and on about all the amazing things that took place. If you go to visitkingsisland.com/events/Coaster Stock, the itinerary is still up there. So you'll get kind of an idea about what you get with Coaster Stock, and absolutely recommend doing it. If you've never been to Kings Island, if you're a coaster enthusiast, check it out. It's like $60. It's amazing.
But you also need to be a member of a coaster club.
That's right. Got to be a member of a coaster club. Yep. Thanks for pointing that out. So make sure you check out all the
a select few clubs, right? It can't be just any. It's like ACE and GOCC.
Yeah. There's like 5 or 6 approved clubs, I believe. Yeah.
It actually looks like there's about 10 from what I see here.
10 now.
Okay. To participate in the event, you must purchase a Coaster Stock ticket and be an active member of one of the 8 approved roller coaster clubs and or organizations. So there you go. Coaster Stock, Kings Island. It was amazing. And now for something completely different, CoasterMania 2022 at Cedar Point. I was not there. Brian and Chris were there. They got a lot to say about it.
Yeah. Where do we start, Brian, with CoasterMania?
Ooh.
Maybe the way that check-ins were handled?
Yeah, if you want to start there, the never-ending line, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was just we arrived, I swear there was 1,500, 2,000 people in about 6 different lines just lined up at the front.
Wow.
Yeah, there wasn't.
Do they cap tickets or like what? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but they we go from Coaster Stock here at Kings Island and, a solid 600 tickets and that's it. What was, how was it handled there?
They didn't say what the cap was. But I feel like in a little bit, we'll kind of get into what may have been the cause of this amount of people.
Yeah, I believe it was capped in previous years. It was much smaller, but it was very, checking in was kind of crazy. It took a lot of time. I kind of wish they would have did it like Kings Island does with Coaster Stock, where they actually mail your credentials and your shirt prior to the event, so you're not sitting there just standing in line and literally wasting time.
When tickets went on sale, was it sort of the same thing as Coasterstock?
Nope. It sold out maybe a couple days before the event.
Yeah. So they were available for what, 2 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with they should have mailed things, the itinerary and all that kind of stuff. It was way different this year. You didn't have to be in a coaster club, and you could also bring people with you. So there was just that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. If you could bring guests with you, but I think I heard that somewhere. But yeah, it was a madhouse, and they start like when the first thing we get in, we see what our time to go on the cruise is around the peninsula is the same time that our lunch was. So it was just all jam packed in there all together, and we had to kind of, pick and choose what we wanted to do.
Yeah, you couldn't select a cruise time this year. They were just whatever your ticket said, that's what you got.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was the ERTs, the way they were staggered, they were all over the place. But the problem was the first ERT was Corkscrew and Magnum.
Corkscrew and Magnum, yeah.
Yeah. So you had about 2,000 people in line for those two rides.
Yeah.
What's the proximity of those rides? Are they're
close?
They're close to each other.
Yeah, they're close. But the problem was our ERT time was only an hour on that, hour and a half.
And how long were you waiting in line?
Yeah,
we didn't wait there.
Yeah, we didn't.
Okay,
the line was so long, we just said forget it, and we moved on to Maverick because that ERT started like an hour later or something like that.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we got on Maverick and we got on Steel Vengeance.
Yeah.
So we went back to Maverick first, and then we were like, okay, let's go back to Magnum. And we waited in line for that, and it went down or something. They were transferring trains on, transferring them off. And then it was time for
operations were just horrid.
Yeah. And I
usually don't get on parks about operations. I mean, I know they do what they can, but it seemed like they were staffed, but it's just the way they were operating. They were really slow compared, especially like Kings Island.
Yeah.
I mean, not to backtrack, but comparison of Coasterstock. I mean, ERT, you walked
this
on.
Was night and day.
There was no wait on ERTs because the whole point of an ERT is so you don't have to wait, right? You're bypassing all the normal queues and
Well, then the first two ERTs that we went to, we only had time for one ride on each.
Yeah.
And so basically that's no different than going up there any other day as, general public and just waiting in line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on a little bit of a slightly lighter note, Brian did get his first ride on Steel Vengeance.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Steel Vengeance?
Steel Vengeance, I would have to say is, it's probably my favorite roller coaster out there.
Yeah.
It's definitely exciting. I mean, I've been on I've been on some other RMCs, Storm Chaser, Lightning Rod, and what's the one at Great America? Goliath. Yeah.
Can you share some stats on this coaster so we have an idea of what we're talking about here?
Chris. Yeah, Chris is more the stack guy.
Let me pull up my.
What are we talking about here?
Just say insanity at its highest level. Just insane airtime.
Steel coaster.
Yeah, it's a hybrid.
Yes, it's a hybrid.
Hybrid. Okay.
Yeah, steel, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I don't get into argument on if it's a steel or wood, or I just call it a hybrid.
Yeah.
But it's a hyper hybrid, which is 205 feet tall and 74 miles an hour. So it's on a wooden structure with steel track.
Okay.
Which makes you able to have inversions. I believe that Steel Vengeance holds the record for the most airtime on a coaster.
Oh yeah, at least it's the most airtime I've ever been on a coaster. I mean,
you're constantly being ejected. That thing is trying to rip you straight out of your seat
during the whole course.
It's not just one directional airtime. It'll push you up in one direction, then take you over in the other complete opposite direction while you're still floating in the air.
That quick? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're upside down, you're floating. You're not in your seat, and you're upside down floating. It's great.
Now that sounds like something I would love.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I struggle between Maverick and Steel Vengeance on which one's my favorite there. So it's definitely a tough one. But back to CoasterMania. So we waited forever for Steel Vengeance to even open. It was past its time for
30
ERT.
minutes into our ERT for that was only an hour and a half, and it didn't even open until 30 minutes into the ERT. Yeah. So they weren't even test cycling it until our ERT time started.
Yeah.
So that was another ball dropped.
How about the food? What was the food like?
It's all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't Coasterstock food, but the steak was good. The steak was good.
Steak, I would say the steak and the smashed potatoes were pretty good. The rest of it was but the apple cobbler, I'm a sucker for apple cobbler, so that was pretty good.
That was good. I mixed it with my bread pudding. No.
Any sort of contest at all? Nothing like that?
No. I didn't feel there was really any interaction between the park and the coaster.
They did have a Q&A that we didn't go to.
We didn't really hit on it too much with Coasterstock, but just, Coasterstock had contests. They had the social media rock star, right? So everybody was, taking photo and video and using the hashtag Coasterstock. And, that was a lot of fun. So they gave trophies out at the end of the second night and just so much fun. But
we'll win that soon.
I think so.
We're going to win that event.
We certainly tried, man. I thought for sure we'd be
You won't do it at
up.
CoasterMania, though, because they don't even give you fun picks.
Yeah.
There's no fun picks. There's no drink wristbands.
It's surprising to me because Cedar Point, Cedar Fairs, both own, Kings Island. Why wouldn't they work together and sort of have kind of the same experience, or at least try,
with Cedar Fair, each park is its own thing. They run things usually completely different. Now Coasterstock, that's Don Helbig's baby right there.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with the idea that he puts it all together and everything.
Cedar Point is a mixture of higher ups, and it's a bunch of people's hands involved in CoasterMania.
Yeah,
that could be one of the problems.
Tony Clark runs that now, but I believe there was another gentleman that started that years ago.
Yeah,
it sounds to me like the biggest issue with CoasterMania is just too many people, right? They just overbooked it.
It was way too busy, and
trying to run people through queues for ERTs with 2,000 people on 2 rides. How do you do that in an hour and a half or 2 hours?
Yeah,
don't.
And on top of that, the park was overly crowded that day for a Friday.
Yeah.
Chris has been up there way more than I have. And, he's telling me, wow, this is busy up here.
Well, we went up there and they were also having music in the park. So you had all the band kids and everybody there. Although I don't know if it's band or if it's choir or something like that, but they had music in the park. It was busy. We ended up only riding Vengeance, Maverick, Power Tower, and Magnum. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And and after that,
and the train, we got to ride on the train.
Yeah, we did ride the train. Half of it. We didn't go the other half.
Yeah,
that's all you got in 2 days?
Well, it's only a 1 day.
Oh, 1 day.
CoasterMania is 1 day.
Sorry, that's right.
So they're trying to fit all this stuff in with so many people in one afternoon when the park closes at 8. And
oh man.
Yeah, I mean the ERT was open until 10, so you did get that. I don't know what the nighttime ERT was like because I left. I know Brian left. What time did you leave?
I bolted at 2:00. I was, for one, my allergies were blowing up. They have some severe pollen up there or something. I mean, literally there were pollen dust tornadoes everywhere from the cottonwood trees or whatever. And I was just frustrated because you couldn't ride anything. And I didn't want to just walk around all day in a concrete jungle and wait for ERT at night. It's just like, well, you know what? I'm bolting. I'm going to go down to a better park. I'm going down to Kings Island. So
Brian hightailed it out of there and texted me because I was at Kings Island that day. And he hightailed it out of there and let me know that he was coming down. And the hope is that he was going to catch the Phantom Theater Encore. And unfortunately, you just missed it.
By 10
I was
minutes.
in the theater, and that's where I got the video that's on our YouTube channel.
Now,
and
Brian,
I come out, and there's Brian right there standing outside the theater.
Can you tell us why you missed the show?
Yeah, I got a nice little visit by the Ohio State Patrol on the way down. Apparently, I was hot riding it in an SUV, and whatever. But
just the perfect thing to happen to you after everything you just experienced with CoasterMania.
Yeah, I was pretty ticked off.
And your allergies are flipping out.
Yeah.
It's like I told the cop, I was like, dude, I'm just trying to drive back south. I was like, I'm not in any hurry. So I don't know how you clocked me or where you clocked me, but I definitely wasn't doing 68 in a 55. But I was just like, just whatever. Just give me the ticket. Let me be on my way.
Yeah. I ended up staying until about 8 p.m., 8:30. Me, I'm up there. I didn't write another thing. I took video of all the coasters and everything as much as I could. I got some Dippin' Dots. I got an elephant ear, and I took the elephant ear home. I didn't touch it. As soon as I was walking out of the park, got my elephant ear and left. So I was in line for Millennium Force, and it went down. So then I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
So let's talk about CoasterMania for next year. What can they do to improve that? What do you think needs to happen exactly?
Cap it off.
They need to bring back, you have to be a part of a coaster club.
Exactly.
And they need to limit the amount of tickets they sell. And I think when this midway through the day, you could check all your social media and everybody was just, oh my God, this is not good, not good, not good. So I would hope that somebody at Cedar Point sees that.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, next year we got to do something different. Now, when I said earlier that we're going to jump into something back to that, we're talking about something, I said we're going to talk about that in a little bit later, was the reason why they may have set it up this way, because they were running different events that were all new. And I don't know if that had something to do with, hey, let's try to get more people in so they can experience our new events and see if they like it, this kind of stuff. I don't know if that's it or not, if it just happened to be like that.
Maybe they got a little greedy.
Well, I think a lot of it was because CoasterCon's going to be at Cedar Point this year, and they probably figured they weren't going to sell as many CoasterMania tickets if people were buying CoasterCon tickets.
Yeah.
And they were only a week apart, something like that.
Just at the end of this month, so in 2 weeks, yeah. So 3 weeks apart.
Okay.
The problem is that if you mishandled it so poorly that it was a bad experience for most of the 2,000 people who are there, they're probably not coming back next year. So they'd have
to make some major changes and make sure that people know that, hey, we're changing it this year.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't plan on going back maybe for a long while. I'll go do some other events. I definitely want to try to get into Hollywood Nights next year. I've never been to that. I've been eager to go.
Now, I will say this. Now, when Hollywood Nights, Holiday World in Indiana, when they came out with their new strategy of picking people, I was kind of like, I don't like that. And it's a lottery system. They pick who gets to come. I don't know how they pick it or not, if it's just out of a hat or not, but they limited. I watched videos from this year's Hollywood Nights, and it was station waits for ERT, maybe 1 or 2 train waits for all of their ERT, which I kind of like, okay, now that I've experienced CoasterMania, I'm okay with how Hollywood Nights chooses their event now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my friend Marcus was down there. That's the reason he didn't go to CoasterMania. And I was watching his Twitter feed. So, yeah, I was kind of jealous.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, I definitely got to go next year.
Voyage is very nice.
Yeah. Voyage is one of my favorite coasters.
Yeah.
Another Gravity Group coaster.
Well, I'd be happy with just going back to Coasterstock personally.
Yeah. I do want to try, if it's possible. Fiesta Texas has that.
Oh, yeah.
What was it called?
Coaster Rodeo.
Yeah, Coaster Rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a 3-day event.
And it's very, very intimate. I think it's only 300 tickets sold.
Yeah, and
Wow.
that's kind of weird. But Coasterstock used to be like that. It was 3 days. It was originally Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm wondering if it's 300 tickets. Is it 100 tickets each day, or is it 300 and you get to go all 3 days? I wonder if it's. I haven't looked into it, so I don't know.
I would say you probably get to go all 3 days because a lot of people are gonna be traveling down there. That's a long way to go.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I definitely want to look into that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, there you have it. Anything else about Coasterstock and CoasterMania that anybody wants to add?
Coasterstock 23, let's go.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Got to get Eric on this one.
Yeah. we will definitely do our best to be there next year.
Yeah.
We're
Hey, thanks,
social
guys.
media work.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, it really was a great time hanging out with everybody at Coasterstock. I can't wait to do it again next year. And just amazing. And like we mentioned earlier on, the Phantom Theater Encore at the Kings Island Theater at Kings Island. We've got a video up on our YouTube. The video is doing really well. If you want to see the show and you can't make it out to the park, check out the video.
And definitely.
Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say one last thing. So, sorry, Joe.
No,
we
you're good.
have a meetup at Kings Island on July 10th. We will see you there. Get there and hang out with us.
That's right. The very first Inside Amusements meetup at Kings Island, July 10th. Check out our Facebook. We got a Facebook event on that. So, all right. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Inside Amusements. Visit us at InsideAmusements.com. Follow us on social media. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Shout it from the rooftops. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. And thanks so much. We'll see you in the next one.